Hi, I'm Allison Heath, the Longevity Rescuer and host of the EMF Summit. You know, there's something very interesting going on, and I have been looking at obesity for a long time now. I figured that the major culprit was fructose and artificial sugars and sweeteners. So we have added fructose and corn syrup and so on into everything. We even sweeten our toothpaste, our yogurt, and so on. And so people are bombarded with this. And then there's the junk food that has all of these different additives in it that keep you hungry for more. And MSG, which heightens the flavor of this junk food in your mouth and keeps you wanting to eat and eat and eat, and so on, so that it creates an insulin resistance and a leptin resistance. And leptin is the hormone that signals that we've had enough food. So I've been looking at this for a long time, but recently I have discovered some of the work of Dr. Milham and Dr. Magda Havas and numerous different experts who are looking at another cause of obesity, a cause of obesity that we publicly haven't really thought very much about. And I would like to explore what may be one of the causes of chronic obesity. And it's interesting because one of the guests that I'm going to be interviewing on the EMF Summit, Dr. Samuel Milham, he's an epidemiologist. So is Dr. Magda Havas. They're both epidemiologists, which are the study of disease and how disease spreads within a population. So they can look at the causation of the disease. Why is it happening? And it's really fascinating when I started to read and study their work. And I'm delighted to have the opportunity to bring them to you in a free summit. So one of the things that they found is they started looking, Dr. Milham started gathering all the records, the health records of people in rural areas before the electricity was installed. And it was a perfect opportunity to have a control group. So we had the people in the rural areas who didn't have electricity, and then we had the people in the urban areas who had electricity from the time that Edison rolled it out. Well, one of the things that became very apparent was that obesity just skyrocketed. It just soared once the electricity was put into the rural areas. So this is something that adds a new dimension. And you know, obesity is epidemic. It is just huge what we've done. And I always thought that, you know, when we had third world or developing countries, and they would start getting the American lifestyle, which is what everybody was striving for, that affluence and wealth and so on, and convenience. So McDonald's would move in to different countries, and then the obesity would also move in and so on. And at the same time, I didn't connect the dots that there was also a great deal of electrification happening. And our exposure has just grown exponentially. So we have the EMF is electromagnetic field, which is what's coming with all of our electronic devices and so on, our microwave devices and pulsed radiation devices and so on. This has grown exponentially with our cell towers and our phones and so on. And you know, the telecommunications industry is the most powerful industry. I was interviewing one of the doctors that's going to be on the EMF Summit, and he was saying that it used to be the oil industry, and then it was big pharma. Well, now it's the telecommunications industry above all, and they have a lot of money. They have a lot of power. and they can change government laws to suit themselves with their lobbying dollars and so on. So they have a lot of influence and a lot of power. Well, one of the things that's so interesting that's happening is that obesity is now a young person's disease. We have many young children that are obese and so on. Well, this can also be connected to exposure to electromagnetic radiation in the womb. So if the mother is exposed, so is the baby. And if we have baby monitors in the baby rooms, those babies are being zapped. They're being constantly exposed to this low-level radiation. And this is something that will definitely change the health of the child. And it is responsible, it is connected to the obesity epidemic that we're seeing all around the world. So this is something that I think it's up to us as consumers. This isn't going to come from above, because when we've already looked at that, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money in the telecommunications industry. And yet everything that is, all the toys that we're enjoying now, everything that we're enjoying now can be done safely. And we can learn also how to be safe with it. So it's really fascinating because it goes so deep. We don't even think about it. But did you know that our radial tires are creating electromagnetic radiation? So when you have a baby seat strapped into the back seat of the car, which is right over where the rear wheel is, those steel belted radials that are going around and around and around are creating electromagnetic radiation when the car is running, not when it's stopped. So your child in the rear seat may be getting more electromagnetic radiation in a 1-hour drive than he is in 24 hours in the home. So these are things that we don't necessarily think about. And the tire manufacturers, they're not interested in changing those steel belted radials and using fiberglass or something different, another material, and so on. They're not interested in doing that. But we, the population, can speak. We can use our purchasing dollars to make a difference. And the beauty is that if we realize that there's this huge invisible force that we haven't even thought about going on and impacting our obesity levels, creating or being a big part of the responsibility for the obesity epidemic that we're experiencing now, we can change it. We can do things. We can protect ourselves, we can protect our children, and we can start living a healthy life the way that we're intended to. So I warmly invite you to join me on the EMF Summit. I'm gathering an amazing group of experts, and the information that you're going to learn will change everything for you. Remember, awareness precedes action. And with that, I wish you the best year yet.